Welcome to LFC Transfer HUB. I know where Liverpool are going wrong right now, and it isn't the defense. Plenty has been made of Liverpool's remarkable victory at Newcastle United on Monday night. But for me there is one problem Arne Slot must address, and it isn't necessarily the defense. The balance of the midfield isn't quite right just yet. Yes, I know Liverpool have had players missing at the start of the season and they were without Alexis Mac Allister in the northeast. But there's a bit more to it than that. Part of the issue is Florian Wirtz has come in as the number 10 and is still adjusting to the physicality and pace of the Premier League. I've no worries about him getting used to it. He will. But he is much more of an attacking force than any of the players who featured in the role last season, and that's putting more defensive pressure on the other two midfielders. Really, of those on the books, only Ryan Gravenberch and Wataru Endo could be deemed defensive-minded, although Mac Allister isn't too bad in that regard. The worry for me is the defense isn't being given the protection it needs, not least when up against a team who plays the long ball as much as Newcastle did. We just need to get that balance right, and we know it's possible for Slot because we won the championship last season. Because it really didn't help us on Monday, which was like a war for Newcastle, primarily due to the Alexander Isak situation. I'm not sure what malice Newcastle should have towards Liverpool over Isak. The Reds simply want to buy the player, made a massive bid and Isak wants to come. It's not Liverpool's fault he doesn't want to play for Newcastle, but it made for a lively atmosphere. And Eddie Howe chose to turn the game into an old-fashioned encounter by instructing his players to put the ball in the mixer, gain set pieces and win the second ball in midfield at all costs. Referee Simon Hooper found the game hard to handle, but in fairness most officials would have done. It was epitomized by Anthony Gordon's red card for his silly tackle on Virgil van Dijk. That was a striker's challenge, someone so intent on closing a player down that he was out of control. Liverpool have to be careful now because teams will have seen the game and think we might have a problem defending set pieces and long throws, which are coming back into the game. As I've said, it's not just an issue with the defense, even though it's evident Milos Kerkez and in particular Ibrahima Konate are struggling at present. Both were poor for the goals. We've already seen signs Kerkez can struggle at the far post perhaps because of his height, but he really has to try to head the ball rather than turn and let Bruno Guimaraes head it in. That's so poor. The second Newcastle goal was even worse, the kind of goal you'd fume about conceding at schoolboy level. A big goalkeeper punt forward. Konate turns his head, not really want to head the ball. Dan Burn flicks it on and William Osula touches it in. It's as bad as it gets. The annoying thing is there were lots of other good things defensively, and going forward our goals were well worked, particularly the winner where the build-up was sublime. There's so much to applaud offensively but defensively, such as consistently keeping a high line, the basics aren't quite there yet. And throwing away leads as we have in our first 3 games of the season isn't the hallmark of a title-winning team. Slot will know that. Rio Grande, but don't be hasty. It was written in the stars for Rio Gomaha to come on and score the winner at Newcastle. But rather than now heap expectation on the youngster, let his development take its course naturally. If he's going to become a good player, he will do that naturally. He doesn't need any extra pressure. However, you can already tell he's got a lot of promise. His composure with the finish for the goal was brilliant. Dare I say, if that had fallen to someone like Darwin Núñez, it may not have ended up with the same result. Gumaha could easily have rushed it. But the way he put it away reminded me of Robbie Fowler, or myself. I remember my celebrations when I scored my first goal for Liverpool. I was practically in the Anfield Road stand with the home supporters. But I was 27 when scoring the winner against Southampton at home. Gumaha is not even 17 yet, and to score such a dramatic strike at Newcastle is a much bigger stage. It showed the bottle the lad has demonstrated whenever he's been given a chance with the first team. Plenty of us were gutted about Luis Diaz leaving, but you can see why Liverpool don't want to potentially stunt the growth of Gumaha. We can't put too much expectation on his shoulders, but you can't help but get excited. If nurtured in the right way, Gumaha could well go on to become a very good player for Liverpool. Xabi Alonso drops Real Madrid hint Trent Alexander-Arnold won't like as reality clear. Real Madrid manager Xabi Alonso has hinted that Trent Alexander-Arnold may continue to warm the bench after he was dropped for their recent match. The Spanish Giants faced Real Oviedo in their second La Liga fixture of the season. In a surprising move, former Liverpool defender Alexander-Arnold began the game on the sidelines, with seasoned player Dani Carvajal taking his place. He did eventually get some pitch time, but only as an 87th-minute substitute. When questioned about his decision, Real head coach Alonso suggested that no player is assured of a starting position. He said, "It depends on what we need in terms of the game, the workload, and the opposition. I haven't made a decision for the next month. I'm going to see how we recover and to make sure that people feel important and ready to start, come off the bench, or be able to be in the next game. This is important for the stability of the team's performance. Today was a game to show that we're still improving. We want to continue like this. Now we'll prepare for the Mallorca game before the break. We have 20-odd players in the squad, and I'm going to try to get the best out of all of them. Sometimes you can have a few minutes and be important. Today Vini was important. My intention is that everyone contributes to the team. That's going to be the norm." Whilst Alonso did not mention Alexander-Arnold by name, he heaped praise upon teammate Carvajal. The Real manager hinted that the fullback's current form might be strong enough to earn him a recall to the Spain squad for next summer's World Cup in the USA. He added, "He'd like to return, but it's the coach's decision. I'm very happy that he's regaining his confidence after such a long injury. At the Club World Cup, he was in the mood, but he needed more time. And he still does, but today he played 85 minutes very much in the Carvajal style. Competing well, communicating, and taking that leadership role. Bringing a lot of sense to everything. Hopefully he'll go, and, if not, he'll go soon." Liverpool receive worrying Mark Guehi message after mega £67 million transfer. Can see it. Liverpool's pursuit of Mark Guehi could hit a snag due to Eberechi Eze's recent move to Arsenal. It's been claimed. England star Eze completed his switch from Crystal Palace to the Gunners on Saturday in a deal that could reach £67.5 million. Palace skipper Guehi is also on the radar for an exit from Selhurst Park, with Liverpool showing keen interest in the defender throughout the summer. The 25-year-old is in the last year of his contract with the Eagles and has declined to commit to new terms. The situation could see him leave for a reduced fee of £35 million before next Monday's transfer deadline if Palace allow it. While Liverpool are hot on his trail, Manchester City are also believed to be weighing up a bid for Guehi if Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake depart this week. However, former Manchester United goalkeeper Ben Foster thinks that Guehi might opt to stay at Palace long-term, potentially leveraging Eze's departure to negotiate a significant salary hike. Despite the attention from two top-flight giants, the ex-Watford and Wrexham shotstopper reckons there's still a strong chance Guehi will extend his tenure with the Eagles. Speaking on the Fozcast podcast, Foster said, "I think the Eze deal might have played into Guehi's hands a little bit. He's got massive aspirations of going and signing for a big boy. If Liverpool come knocking, then you want to go to Liverpool. But then you might be worried about the deal getting done and how much it might cost, and whether Liverpool are prepared to stump up. It puts massive power into Mark Guehi's hands to say to Palace, 'I tell you what, give me £150,000 a week on a 4-year deal, and I'll sign and say that I am the happiest Crystal Palace player in the world.' That's what it does, and I've seen it plenty of times before. It wouldn't surprise me if that happened." Guehi's future is currently up in the air, with Palace reportedly hesitant to let the defender go before Thursday's second leg of their Conference League playoff against Fredrikstad. Club chairman Steve Parish has clarified that they would consider letting him go for the right price this summer, rather than risk losing him for free next year. Palace are said to be eyeing Toulouse defender JD Canvett as a potential replacement for Guehi. Aston Villa are also keeping tabs on the 19-year-old situation. Canvett's potential signing could trigger a domino effect, leading to Guehi's departure. Palace are holding out for a fee of £45 million for him, while Liverpool are reluctant to go over £35 million for the player. City's interest could spark a scenario similar to Eze's move to Arsenal, where the Gunners pipped rivals Tottenham to secure his signature. Guehi has become a hot property following his standout defensive displays for Palace over the last 2 seasons.